I can't break it. How are we doing today, guys? So I want to do a quick video just on edge trimming, why we edge trim, and really what happens if you don't edge trim. So I'm going to take these tools and set them to the side. We'll go over all of them over time. But edge trimming ultimately is important to avoid tear outs on the material or the material deteriorating. Now, this right here is a piece that has been cut for, probably a year, just sitting in a box over there, not really being used. And you can already see where the edges up here are starting to tear apart. Same thing with this piece back here. You can see where the edges are starting to tear apart. Now, if I grab this, and I can actually start to pull these fibers off. As you can see, you can just start tearing them. See how they're just fraying away, all these fibers? So obviously that's going to deteriorate your material. And more importantly, if you have a stitch in there or a seam or a snap that's along this edge, sooner or later it's going to tear out, and you don't want that. Now, this is most important when you have woven materials. Or when we look at this large cotton woven material, you can see that, it's actually woven back and forth. Now, this canvas material is also woven, but it's very, very fine. It's hard to see, but it's still a woven material. We need to treat it as such. So when we look at the edge of these woven materials, you can see that as it starts to pull, it just pulls these seams apart. It just pulls the pockets out, and everything starts to come apart. Now, on synthetic materials, we can heat that up and roll the edge, but on something like cotton, we can't do that. We have to edge treat cotton. It's a must. You can't get away from it. But there's a few ways we can do it. Now, even if you don't have to edge treat things like canvas, you're almost always going to do it. And that's just for reliability. You can make a much stronger product by adding an edge trim over just burning it, and then it's not going to come apart. When you do melt the edges, it could come apart over time, and do you really want to take that risk? You're going to put all this work into a project. Do you really want to risk it on, I hope that holds up. So going back to our pieces quick, you can see where this has a seam right along the edge. Now, this isn't the most perfected seam because I knew I was cutting this off when I made the boat cover, but it's a seam. When we flip to the other side of the seam, you can see open edges. But if you look at these open edges, they're not fraying. They're not fraying like these edges are fraying. And that's because these are melted seams, or we cut them with a hot knife. Now, hot knives can be expensive. Do you really want to spend a bunch of money on a hot knife? Probably not. So instead, you can go to any of your local stores and get a wood burner. What you're going to want to look for is this sharp little tip. See how it comes to a point? So when you're cutting synthetic material, such as a canvas, you can melt the material. So this hot, sharp edge is going to be able to drag along there and cut into it while also melting the edge. When you melt the edge of these materials, they actually kind of ball up and roll over a little bit and shrink away, but they ball up and they roll over so they can't pull back through those little loops, and then you get a better edge. We can see that here. It's kind of hard to see, but you can see where it's kind of shiny along the edge. That's because it's melted and rolled over. Now, if you don't have the ability to go out and buy, a cheap wood burner, you can cut this with scissors. It's okay to cut it with scissors. But what we need to do is we need to burn the edges. We still need to heat that up, and we still need to roll that over. A standard lighter is going to do the trick. But you need to be careful, because as I start to heat this up on the edge, you can see the strings kind of disappear. But it's really easy to overheat it. Whew, it is cold outside. My lighter is not liking it. We are currently getting that cold snap that everyone's worried about across the U.S. I've had a lot of negative degree days, and I'm in Ohio, so that's kind of abnormal. So as we burnt that, you can see where it starts to get a little shiny. If I can get up close, you can see the little balls on there. It's not the best looking thing in the world. That was a pretty straight cut, but then as you burn it, some parts melt away a little further than others, and it gives you a really rugged edge. And you don't really want that, right? You want it to look nice. So one form of edge trimming that I really encourage, if you have a sewing machine, is to do a simple fold over. Now, generally you'll mark out, say, an inch line down the whole piece, and that way when you fold over, you have a half-inch fold. you're 1/2 inch across the top, you're 1/2 inch underneath of that, and then you'll touch that inch line and you'll run it through your sewing machine. Now, my industrial sewing machine right now is on a job site, so unfortunately I can't show you that, which sucks, because I want to show you that. It would be great, but you can envision it. You'd have a nice folded over edge down the whole piece. Now, when you flip it over, you would have a small stitch line, but ultimately you would have a clean edge. You still need to be careful about those inner edges, though, because like we talked about, they can begin to unravel over time and still tear that seam out. So we do want to be careful. Now, a second idea you have is to leave this edge and then do a folded over edge. Now, there's 2 ways we can do a folded over edge. Or if you buy edge trimming from an upholstery or boat or interior shop, you're going to end up with a piece of material that's very, very thin. It's going to be a very, very cheap vinyl that you're not really going to want to use. And it's going to be, a certain width and then little fold overs on the edge so you get that nice look. Now, I just have a scrap bin over here, but if we don't fold over the edge of the vinyl, you get this kind of like the white, the underside color to show, and we don't want that. So what you'll end up with if you buy edge trimming from these companies is they'll do a small fold along the edge, and then obviously that'll be glued or bonded or something, and then they'll do the same thing on the other edge, and then you'll just set it along the side, fold it over, and you'll need to stitch it. Now, if you don't have the foot to do edge trimming, because there are special design feet for certain sewing machines, you have to be careful, because it's very easy when you're trying to fold this in half and sew down it to slide off a little bit, and then your stitch misses the edge of the material, or for this to shift underneath of there and you're not noticing it, and you'll either end up with an uneven edge, or you'll actually miss the bottom and this will fold back out. So you kind of have to be careful if you don't have a foot. Now, there's another way to do this, and this is the way I prefer. So this is how you make a invisible edge. It does take some practice. You do need to kind of play with the idea a little bit, but it's what we do on really high-end stuff, high-end carpets, and just high-end edges that we want to hide. So the first thing you'll do is cut your fabric. You need to cut it with the seam allowance in mind, and then the ability to go back over that seam allowance under to the other side, and then far enough over that you're going to catch it back with the second stitch. We're going to sew it twice from the top. So if we wanted, say, a 1/2 inch seam around the edge of the material, we're going to do, a 1/2 inch plus a 1/2 inch, and then we're going to go around the other side, so we need at least another 1/2 inch. So we're probably going to make an 1 3/4 piece of material. We can go even further if you're never going to see the underside, and that's the point of this. It's for a piece of material that you're not going to see the under on, but you're only going to see the top. But it'll look really nice. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our piece. Let's just say this is that 1 3/4 or 2 inch that we talked about, and we're going to lay it like we would sew any other seam from the top. This would be the top of our material, and then this one would be face down, and we're going to sew our seam. Now we're going to sew our 1/2 inch seam, because remember we want a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So we're going to sew it all the way down the whole piece. Now once we have that seam in place, we're able to fold it over onto itself, and then we're actually going to fold it back around to the other side. So what we would end up with is sewn from the top, and then folded back over onto itself, and then backed around to the other side. And this is kind of hard to do if you're not stitching it at the time, but you end up with this kind of shape. Now there's 2 ways to do this. First off is you can offset that stitch. You would usually do like the width of your center foot. You have your center foot and then your feed foot. So you would do the width of your center foot. It would make that stitch just a little bit off of your first edge. It's visible, but it looks very clean, very nice. The second thing you could do is run that stitch right down along that edge, and it almost disappears. When you're doing something like carpet edging, you're never going to see that stitch. It's a great way to do carpet edging with really high-end materials. And I say that's important because when you buy edging materials from a factory, they're almost always trash. And I don't want to talk bad about material companies, but the edge trimming is so bad. But why wouldn't you match that material to the material used inside the car? You're going to do all this work on a high-end interior, custom seats, custom door panels, custom dashboard, and then you're going to just use some really cheap edge trimming for your carpet. Nope, I say throw it out the door. Put your carpet down, make your center match, and then use that same material for your edge trimming. It'll look great. It's a little detail. And that little bit of detail on the floor, you're going to love it. Just real quick, I want to add some details. So Ford's kind of listening to what I'm talking about on use the material from the seats on the edge trimming. This is the edge trimming out of the brand new 2021 Ford Bronco Sport Badlands Edition. They come with a neoprene seat. And as you can see, that's the kind of material that they're using on the sides. Now, when you use something like a neoprene where it doesn't have a backing, like we talked about with that vinyl, you can just flip it over the edge. You can see it's just over to the edge, and if you look, it is actually folded back under itself, just ever so slightly. But we see they used a white stitch as detail, and then when we flip it over, they don't really care so much about the underside. You're not meant to see this. So you can see where it's like wrinkled up in the corners and stuff. That doesn't matter. Focus on the front, make it look good. You can see over here it's wrinkled. Again, these are a genuine Ford product. But you know, if we go in the car, you can see that's the exact same material on the seats. Now, somewhere on your edge trimming, you're going to have an overlap, or you're going to have, let's see if we can find it. You're going to have an overlap, or you're going to have a spot where you need to butt it up. Just overlap it a little bit. Right here, you can see it. No one's going to notice that, I promise. Just put it somewhere that's less seen, okay? So these go into the car like this. This is where the front seat was. I believe this is what, the passenger side. If I was doing it, I would have put it up, the overlap up here somewhere. You don't want it to be dead center. That's usually visible, so go off side. Like they did down here, you know, they went, instead of going here, they went off over here to the side, but hide it somewhere where it's not as visible. You know, if your general eye goes here, don't put it in the middle. Not that you could on this, but you get the point. So, let's go look at what this looks like on the car. Alright, so here's the neoprene seats, okay? So you can see that this is like a dead match. I mean, they used the material off the seat. And that's what I was talking about with the floors. The older style did not do that. They used whatever black vinyl they had. Now, we went with rubber floor mats because, you know, it's our Overland Badlands Edition, and they come with rubber floors, and then they put carpet in them. I didn't understand it. As you can see, I mean, it's built up on salt right now because, well, it's wintertime. So we have salt everywhere. Can't help that. So obviously, you know, we have salt building up, and we can just take these out and just wash them. I mean, why put carpet when you could do that? Didn't make sense, so we swapped them out. But you can just see that, you know, they're finally using the seat material up on the edge trimming, which is so important. It looks so much better. So come over here quick to our slammed VIP style Chrysler 300C and just check those floor mats out. Now, this car is being built right now, so obviously, you know, it doesn't look the best. So let's just ignore some of the tools and the seats and things like that. When we look at these seat covers, and these are a little different, okay? These are using a full rubber bottom, and then they're actually just coming up and gluing to the edge. You can see it's just glued to the edge. But, you know, when that gets put in there, it kind of just sits flat, and you don't really see it. If you have loop carpeting, like especially classics in a lot of cars, you can't do that. So this is a Nordic Green RX-8 GT. I mean, this is your Grand Touring RX-8. This is the nice one, you know. If you look at these floor mats, you know, they did an edge trimming, which is a bound edge trimming. This requires a special machine, and it goes around and around and around and around and around the edges. Not really something you could do at home. So kind of have to ignore those ones, but that is something you will see. Then we come up here and we look at some Fiat floor mats. Now, these are... look at these floor mats. You can see where that one's starting to come apart, right? You know, we look at that thread. That's a cotton thread. Come on, focus. You can see where it's starting to fray. That's a cotton thread. That's deteriorating. That's falling apart exactly like we talked about inside with the importance of, you know, using a good thread. But you can see how cheap that edging is. The edging is just trash. You know, it's just shredding already. And this is just a 2014. Now, I used the term loop carpeting there quick, and that's this right here. This is a loop carpet, and it really just goes, when they're sewing it, I mean, it goes through just loops, 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 and if this starts to come apart, it'll just pull apart. And then, so if we look, and then this is some loop carpeting we just had around from a project a while back, you know, like a 60s Mustang, is we usually put this in. But right here you can see, look, when loop carpeting starts to come apart, and I'll try to do this one-handed, I'll just step on the other end. We'll try to do this one-handed, but when loop carpeting comes apart, it just, I mean, it just shreds. It comes right apart, and you can see down inside of there. So obviously, if that starts to come apart, it's going to look terrible. It's actually just going to fall apart. So That's why you got to do edge trimming. That's why, I mean, if you look, that's the same style of carpet as that. And I mean, if there was no edge trimming, it would just flail apart. So you got to do edge trimming. You got to. Edge trim your pieces, it'll look great. Now, as always, I have to talk about thread. I can't not talk about thread because it drives me nuts in this industry. All the time, I see boat covers come in, I see car seats come in, everything you can imagine being sewn, I see it come in because the stitches and the seams are coming apart. It's because cotton threads. That's all it comes down to, cotton threads. If you buy a cheap thread, it's not going to last. The new materials on the market, such as these canvases and vinyls, they're meant to be UV protected. They're coated for UV protection. That's why they cost so much money. It's because they're coated, they're protected, they're water sealed, and they're built to last. But the cotton threads are not. So you could build something out of this very nice boat top material. I mean, this is a very expensive boat top material. Use a cotton thread and the seams fall apart in just 1 or 2 years of being in the sun. You don't want that. Please get a good synthetic string. Everything we use is a good synthetic string. Please use a good synthetic string. When you grab your string, just as a test, you should be able to pull on it hard and not be able to break it. I can feel a little stretch in there because it is synthetic. That's good though. That means it'll be able to move around with your material a little bit. When it gets cold and things shrink up and it expands, it'll move with your material and it'll reduce wrinkles. But pull on it. Make sure you can't break it. This is a 69 thread. It's larger. It's what we use for detail stitches. This is a synthetic thread that you can get from like Joann or Hobby Lobby. It's smaller. This is what you normally use to stitch things. This is probably the same size used on our boat covers over there. But if I grab it and I pull it, I can't break it. And I'm a strong dude. It's literally digging into my hands. I can't break the string. Use a good string. Now keep in mind, if your machine gets snagged with this good string, don't pull on it. Cut it. Open your machine up. Take your time. You don't want to be pulling on stuff with such a strong string. But this is what you want. I use this for everything. When I'm fixing clothing, boat tops, car interiors, it doesn't matter. This is good stuff. And I can just yank on it. And I can't break it. And it's not that thick. It's a small string. Don't waste your money on cotton strings. String's meant to hold. That's its only job. So at what point do we say, let's use a cheaper string that's going to break? I don't know. The only time where I ever use a cheap string that's intended to break is when we're doing like airbag inserts. And that's because they're meant to tear apart. So edge trim. You can do edge trimming with attachments. You can do edge trimming without attachments. You just need to play around with it a little bit and have fun. Have fun! Do your interiors and have fun. But don't do your interiors professionally unless you know what you're doing. Because there are so many shops out there that are doing hack jobs. It's really bad on our industry, so that's the one thing I ask. Have fun. Go build your own boats and cars. But please, be upfront if you're going to do somebody else's stuff. Because it hurts our whole industry. I have to prove myself every single customer that walks in that I have knowledge and I'm not just some hack. Even though I've been doing this for years. So, just, have fun and have a good day.